Hi, folks. Welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, everybody celebrate. Yay. It's Michael Obama Visibility Day. Yay. Oh, I mean, the president issued a proclamation yesterday. A proclamation. I mean, that's stuff that like kings and emperors do. So it must be really important that it was proclaimed that today is Trans Visibility Day. To use the most censored speech I can, that's hogwash. It's absolute hogwash. I saw something the other day. There are now 145 days out of the year that are designated as some type of transgender awareness and of some sort days. 145 days. But yet that segment of society is so abused and all kinds of ridiculousness. Fortunately, you and I know that he's not in that grave anymore. That he has risen, and we celebrate and we proclaim a real proclamation that Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, is no longer in that grave. And they can twist things, they can pervert things, they can whatever they want. But you and I know. I talked last night quite a bit about it, about this particular thing on the live stream. If you missed it, I mean, you can go back and rewatch it if you want. But, and I don't want to sound all doom and gloom, but I think, and we've been going this direction for a while. Let me get to it. We've been going this direction for a while. I get it. It's not like today it just happened or whatever. I understand that, but I think that the times that we are getting into, the level of persecution, the level of hatred towards believers is going to be just more and more amplified. We don't live in the same country we used to, in case you haven't figured that out. This is not the same, Christian nation that we once lived in, where, you could proclaim yourself to be a believer and go to church and whatever it was, and you're okay. You're good American. That's what it means to be just this red-blooded American, right? I mean, that's how it used to be. It was just assumed for the most part. Like you were kind of looked down upon if you weren't going to church, if you weren't, professing yourself to be a believer, a Christian or whatever, that you were looked down upon. And I'm not saying that all the people that did that in generations past were true believers. That's not for me to decide. I'm just saying as a nation, America has always been a safe haven for believers. For the most part, I'm generally speaking. That time period has come and passed. And we're now living in a different age where it's becoming more and more dangerous, I guess. I mean, when they started arresting pastors and citing and ticketing and arresting people because they were going to church, even for those of you that are like myself that don't go to Sunday church, it's not the point today. That's not my point I'm getting at. The point is that these were people that were going to churches and that they were being arrested or cited, ticketed, fined because they were going to church because the government told them to stay home and not go to church. I mean, you could go to a strip bar. You could go hang out at Walmart and buy all your fake chemically laden food that the FDA says that you should eat, but you could not go to church. When that happened, I knew that this nation had drastically changed. Not only the fact that the government said that, but that so many people just accepted it. Yes, there were certainly exceptions to that. There were pastors and churches that were standing up against that. Those are the ones that many times were cited, arrested, harassed by law enforcement and government officials. But when we saw the vast majority of American churches and Christians fall in line and say, well, we can't. We gotta listen to the government. I mean, we gotta be afraid of this mysterious virus that's spreading around, and we can't go and worship together. When that happened, I knew that this nation had taken a very, very, very hard left turn, and we were going down a very dark path that other nations in human history have gone down, and it's never ended in a good place for the people that they are against. It's all biblical. It's all biblical that the world and that other people that claim to be, Christian believers. I mean, open your Bible to John chapter 16, verses 1 through 3. I think it is 1 through 4. It talks about how they will come after us, and it's not talking about these evil demonic forces. It says specifically these people believe that they are following God's will and that they will come after us, kill us. That's what it says. I'm not making this up. It's in the Bible. Dust it off and open it up sometime and read it. I know most of you do. This is so important because we talk about on this channel all the time I talk about it, we talk about it in discussion of, all of these things that are going on in the world that's leading us down this path of collapse and destruction, economic collapse, societal collapse, civilization collapse, maybe even, that we're watching America fall, and we're watching all of these things happen. But this issue, I probably don't talk about it as much as I should. I'll admit that. This is very deeply a spiritual issue. That has physical manifestations. I fully believe that this far left evil globalist cabal, whatever you want to call it, and all the people that fall in line with it, they see you and I as a threat. They want to exterminate our beliefs. They want to eradicate it. I've spoken on it a few times. I listened a year or two ago. I don't remember when. I know it's been a while. I listened to a podcast, and don't ask me who the guy was because I've since forgotten it. But he was talking about that, our nation, whether you like it or not, whether you agree 100% with everything we've ever done, our nation, our civilization is very firmly based in biblical philosophy, biblical truths, biblical principles, biblical morals. It's not saying that everyone that's, and all the past presidents and all the the leaders of this country from the beginning were all Christian, good, solid believers. Not saying that at all. Just saying that our society, the basic moral fabric of our society, is based in biblical foundation, biblical truths. And so this new world that they're trying to create is completely antithetical to that. It's the opposite of that. There's no way that they can both live together, right? There's no light and darkness cannot exist together. They don't mix. One overtakes the other. And so they know that. And so they're trying to push this. It's not just a narrative. It's not just a new normal. It's a complete new world, a complete reset, okay? I've explained this many times, folks. A reset is just not something different. A reset is bringing it back down to zero, crashing the system and starting something new. That's what a reset means. You reset things. You're not just altering the narrative or altering the direction. You're completely shutting it down and restarting something new. They know that they can't successfully do that as long as a good portion of this country still believes in the old ways. And the old ways are founded in biblical truths. And they know that our traditions, our beliefs, family values, biblical values, going to church, reading your Bible, believing in God and his son, all that kind of stuff cannot exist in the same world that they're trying to create. And so one has to go. And so I firmly believe that all this reset, that there's so much that's spiritual that's going on, that their intent is to destroy this Christian belief, biblical, Jesus, Yeshua, God, Yahweh. They're trying to destroy that, whether it's an eradication of destroying it or completely perverting it to the point that, it's not even the same thing that it was. That's their goal, because it almost has to happen. They cannot. I can't see how they can bring about this new world order, this great reset of changing and radically, leaping forward and evolutionary ideas and all that stuff. They can't do that successfully as long as there's a good portion of the population that's still holding on to these biblical traditional views. And so they have to destroy that. They have to bring it down. And they have to turn us into these evil, this enemy, this mental, that's what they're trying to make us to be. We're evil because we don't accept all of this radically, far left transgender stuff. We're evil because we don't accept that a child can choose its gender, a child can choose its, it's sorry to say this, sexual activity, that a man can be a woman can be a man can have a period, all these kind of things that you and I are the evil ones because we believe this. I believe that's why we're seeing this thrust. One of the reasons why we're seeing this push, this thrust of all these illegals, because they want to shake up and cause so much chaos in our culture. It's not just in the supply chain or in crimes or voting or getting them to join the military. It's also a cultural destruction. They want to destroy Western culture. And what's one of the best ways to destroy Western culture? Well, flood it with people that aren't from Western cultures. And it's going to absolutely, it is. It's not going to, it is. It's creating chaos and havoc and destruction. It's not widespread, it's not everywhere, but it is happening, and eventually it's going to just spread around. You can't have the forceful thrust that you're seeing on the internet, on TV, and in all sorts of media and the government of this far left radical agenda, and have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people a month coming from all over the world pouring into this country without it eventually its tentacles reaching virtually everywhere. This is why we have to stand firm on this. This is why I tell you every day to get ready. You've got to get your house in order. You've got to get your spiritual life in order, because they're coming for you. If you've watched and listened to anything that these World Economic Forum people are talking about, they're very, very openly talking about how that these globalist leaders will be the new gods, that people, you and I, commoners, won't be worshiping some sky guy in the air, that we'll be worshiping data, and we'll be, we're worshiping computers, artificial intelligence, all of this kind of stuff. These types of conversations, as crazy as it sounds, are absolutely being had at top tier globalist levels. I believe that's why I've said before, the thing of like perverting our food to where the food that we're eating is no longer natural. It's all bioengineered, lab created. It's not food. So that they can say, see, the things that you eat don't even come from your creator in the sky. Your things that you eat come from us. The very sustenance that gives you life comes from us globalist leaders. It's a diabolical plan. It's all biblical. It's all been prophesied. But we have to get ready for that, folks. If you're spending time with family today, absolutely do it and enjoy it. But we have to be waking up and realizing that this isn't a political game that many of you have seen in the past. Well, it's this fight between Bill Clinton and George Bush, or something like that. It's way bigger than that. It's way bigger than this battle between the Republicans and Democrats, which are both the same thing. They're two sides of the same coin, you know, different wings of the same bird. It's way bigger than that. Get beyond that. This is an absolute destruction of Western civilization, of biblical Christian civilization. That's the whole point of it. We have to realize that. That's why they're pushing these radically perverted agendas so forcefully. It's been a whirlwind over the last few years. Like they're not letting up at all. Not at all. And we have to be ready for that. We have to be getting spiritually prepared, very much along with the physical stuff that we're doing to prep, the mental stuff, because it's not going away, and they're not going to let up, and we have to be ready for it. It's time to get your houses in order and prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.